Today I bring you another version of Mercedes declutters, edits, refines, curates her life, the beauty edition. It was time for me to do another culling of, is that the word that I want to use? I just needed to clean out my skincare cabinet. Sometimes I'm like, I can use like a simpler word than the one that I want to use in my head. I just need to constantly be taking stock of, you know, what I have and what I'm using and what I'm not using, and what, you know, what kind of utility is it bringing to my life, and do I really love something? So in essence, even though I have actually never read the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, this would be the approach that I have heard that book espouses, which is, I think, very succinctly put, does an object bring you great joy or love or some sort of positive emotion? And if it doesn't, then you move along. Now, it's more complicated than that, but I think in our world of truly excessive consumption and disposable everything from electronics to furniture to cars to anything you can really think about, I feel like culturally we've lost the appreciation for things of high quality and value. Just a little preface, I guess, behind my understanding of the KonMari method. And you know, when I really decided that I wanted to be more minimal in my approach to life, which has been an evolution, I don't even, you know, necessarily consider myself a minimalist. I lead a pretty functional, thoughtful, conscious life in that respect with regards to consumption. But I mean, I'm human and I buy frivolous things, and you know, it's a work in progress. Today I'm going to be showing you what I have been cleaning out of my skincare cabinet and makeup drawer. It's not a ton of stuff, but it's all in this bag. So I'll just kind of, you know, walk you through what's in here. Doesn't mean any of these products are bad products at all. They're just things that I either wasn't using because they didn't work for me, or some of these things are frankly just old and expired and I didn't get through them in time. Some of these things I'll definitely be passing on. Some of them will be going in the trash because they are quite old. And then what I want to do, it will be a separate video, as I'm going to give you a little tour of my skincare cabinet. I did a video of that about 6 months ago, but I think you'll be maybe proud of your girl because it's quite a bit more minimal than it was in that video. In that video, it was pretty stacked and overwhelming, and I'm pretty happy with it now. I've really been dedicating to using things up, and I think you'll see it reflected when you see that video. So without further ado, I feel like Whitney Simmons, let's get into the video. That's what she does. I'm not trying to co-opt that, but let's get started with what's in here. Tabitha James Kraan Organic Dry Shampoo for Dark Hair. I had the opportunity to try some Tabitha James Kraan products via Beauty Heroes, their shampoo, dry shampoo, and the hair perfume, which is actually also in here. Now, the shampoo did not work for my hair, but I have been using it up as a shaving accoutrement. The dry shampoo I really wanted to like, especially because it's formulated specifically for dark hair, but it's way too sandy. The particles are huge in this. Like, I don't know. Again, this is just my personal opinion, but this is the, you know, most problematic dry shampoo I've probably ever used, which is a really big bummer because I had very high hopes for it. And these products are very expensive for hair care products, so I'm just frankly like pretty surprised that this formula exists, I'll be honest. The hair perfume was probably my favorite from the trio. I have this in the scent Golden Citrus. I think it might come in also like Amber Rose or something. I actually liked this okay. I tried using it for a while. It had a fine scent. I didn't find that it lingered in the hair that well, to be honest. For a hair perfume, I would sort of expect it to, I don't know, perfume your hair for some length of time, and it just didn't. And at this point, it's just sort of old, and I wasn't really using it. So those were a bit of a disappointment, I guess I would say. Okay, these things are just old and expired. This is in Fiore Treate Cleansing Emulsion and in Fiore Lustra. So This was like literally my third set of these. This was a Beauty Heroes box from now close to 2 years ago. These are products that I love and adore, and Fiore is one of my favorite sort of luxury mind-body holistic skincare brands. I had gone through literally like 2 or 3 full sets of this, or no, I had gone through like 4 bottles of Lustra because it's smaller, and I think this was my 3rd bottle of Treat, and they're 2 years old at this point, and you know, they just feel like it's time to move on to the recycling bin. Another just pretty old product that I never got through, and you know, kind of sucks when you spend money on something and you just don't use it and then you end up tossing it. This is the Fig and Yarrow Hair and Scalp Tonic. What ended up happening, actually I liked the way this smelled a lot. Yeah, it smells really quite nice. Maybe I should hold on to it, but I'm just not using it. The thing is, other hair oils came into my life, namely the Uma hair oil and the Stark Tendril hair oil. I've also just sort of, I don't know, my hair's been very healthy of late, and I haven't found a need, to be honest, to regularly like douse my hair in oil or oil up my scalp. I do sometimes, but I've been using up the Uma oil to do that, which feels a little bit more potently formulated than this. This is a very, very viscous, heavy hair oil. So if I used it on my scalp, it was just a pain to get out. I could only use a very small amount on my ends, which is why, you know, I just didn't really get through it. This is probably 3 years old. I like the way it smells. I just didn't love the thickness of the formula. It's not really made for someone with like my hair texture, to be honest. This would make a nice, I think, beard oil also for men. I think that's how it's also marketed. My advice for hair oils is don't buy a big bottle of them unless you're like, you have a ton of like long, thick hair and you're oiling up your hair and scalp on like a weekly basis. You don't need like a huge bottle. That's why I like Stark's Tendril, because it's small. It's like a small amount and just kind of like perfect for using drops on the ends. And anyway. Okay, Leahlani Kokoleka is in here. This is actually maybe somewhat surprising because this had been in, you know, previous favorites videos. I definitely will be passing this on to somebody. I just haven't been reaching for it. I had other things that I prioritized using up, like Mahalo's The Bean or Max and Me Serenity Mask and Wash. The whole point of me doing this clean out is that I was like very strict with myself, and I was like, am I using this, or is there something I like more that I actually want to use up to completion? And so this kind of got knocked off, not because I don't like it or I don't think it's a good product. There were just other things that felt, you know, a little bit more potent, that worked a little bit better on my skin. This is I would use this as a flash mask. Oftentimes I would actually mix it with Treat, and it was very nice. I really was not using it. Sort of have migrated away a bit from Leahlani. I just have other things that I think I like a little bit better. I think the standout product I've ever tried from Leahlani for me would be the Mermaid Mask. I like that product a lot. Okay, another skincare product is Mahalo's The Petal. RIP first generation petal. I don't think it's coming back. I went through one full jar. This actually is a full jar. I'm going to give it to somebody. Actually, I gave a sample to a girlfriend and she ended up really liking it, so I already have a good home for this. The first generation of this, when it first launched, you know, a year and a half ago, I was sent a jar and it was my favorite skincare product of 2016. It was epically amazing. Totally just, my skin loved it. I saw so many great results, and then in subsequent formulations or subsequent batches that I've tried, it has not performed the same on my skin. They have done some ingredient swap outs. I don't know if it's a true reformulation. I still, like, Marina will, you know, sometimes pop in and say, oh, I keep meaning to tell you about that, and then, you know, life gets busy and we just haven't been able to connect over it. But yeah, it has never worked the same on me, unfortunately. So the product that I use now that gives me similar results to what the Petal used to is the Precious Skin Elixir's Sterling Honey Polish. I love that product. That's a contender already for my favorite skincare discovery of 2017, I think. Although, I'm like, I don't even know how much that means at this point, because I don't try nearly as much new skincare as I used to intentionally. This is the Bara Balm from blanking on the name of this brand. H is for Love, I think. So this, along with a lip balm, came in a Boxwalla box. I think it was the February Boxwalla box. And I was generously sent it for consideration by the brand, and it also came with the One Love Organics Youth Preservation Serum, which you will see in my cabinet because it does have a place. I just didn't love the H's for Love products, unfortunately. The balm, I haven't been using heavy balms on my skin very much. If I do, the only one that I really, really like is the Lena Hansen Global Treasures. I like the Mahalo Balms as well, but my number one, honestly, is probably Lena Hansen Global Treasures. I tried using this also as a cleansing balm, and it just wasn't clicking with me for whatever reason. So again, it's just the method of, is there a product in this similar category that I really love and want to use? And the answer is yes, the Lena Hansen Global Treasures. Okay, I think just one hair thing. This is the Yarok Feed Your Shine, sort of little serum drops. The reason this is in here, there's probably, yeah, it's pretty much almost full. I'll probably give this to my sister because I think she'll use it. The reason this is in here is because I have a product I like better, first of all, Stark Tendril, but also Yarok was posting Melania Trump after the election, and I was kind of like, yeah, no, I think I'm all set. Moving on. I like their hair care products well enough. In the time since I had really liked them, when I first got into eco beauty, there have been other really good hair care brands come along, like Inner Sense, Reverie, Evolve H, that I like just as much, if not more, than Yarok, so there's no reason for me to keep purchasing from a company who seems to align with political figures that I am not a fan of. So I put the Sephora birthday gift this year is in here. So this is the limited edition Tarte Creamy Matte Lip Paint and Amazonian Clay Blush, both in limited edition shades. The blush oxidized on me, as most tend to do, but this is like very similar to like a Tarte exposed sort of color. And the lip paint, I actually liked the color. I think I may have tried this in a previous video or worn it in a previous video. The formula was like bad news bears. I don't know if any of you have found that to be the case, but I don't really wear conventional liquid lipsticks. I do really like the Aromi liquid lipsticks, and I think the formulas are exceptional. The formula of the matte lip paint did that thing where it wears off very unevenly and it looks so corpse-like after like 3 or 4 hours on the lips. I was like shocked at how bad it looked on me. But when it initially went on, the first hour, it looked quite beautiful. But for those reasons, these did not work for me. So I have now, I think one of these was in a previous declutter video, but now I've added 2, and I also, as you can tell, did not get rid of the original one. Mocha, I think, was the one that I initially was like, okay, it's time for us to part ways because it oxidizes on me, and yeah. But I don't know. It's one of those weird things. I'm like, it is a nice palette. Someone, or a nice compact. I really have very little attachment to like branding and logos and like luxury sorts of things like that. Someone made a comment on the video where I had showed this where she was like, well, you could depot the shadow and use the compact for something else. And I'm like, yeah, but like what? Just the mirror? Would I depot out like this whole portion? It just seems like a lot of work that I wasn't really down with at the time. But now I have also added the shade Turbulent to my KonMari Declutter because I have not used this in years. I think I actually did a get ready with me video on my channel several years ago with this, and I don't wear a lot of color on my cheeks anymore. I'm not sure I like would again use this color now that I know my undertones and my coloring, and I'm much more tuned to like color harmonization and stuff like that now. I'm just not sure. So I don't know, these are sort of in a limbo. They're in the bag, I don't really know what to do with them. I'm truly not using them. This is another, like similar to the Fig and Yarrow, I feel similarly about this because it's just something I just got very little use out of, and I couldn't return it or anything. It's RMS Spell. This may have also been in another video. But anyway, this is definitely part of this declutter because it does not show up on me one iota. Like, who does this work on? You either have to be like, I I don't know, Casper, or maybe it would show up on like darker skin tones as well. Like I do not know, but for someone like me, I'm around an NC 20, between a 15 and a 20 probably, depending. It just did nothing for me. So I'm very upset about that. This is the only RMS product, well, that's not entirely true, but it's one of the only RMS products I've tried that's been a complete no-go. Their cream shadows like don't work for me either, but I learned that lesson very early on with them. I'm getting rid of my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I always kept this like in the reserves because, I don't know, in case my beauty blender like got torn or something, but if that were the case, I would just go out and buy another beauty blender. I like the beauty blender much better than this. They have, if you are used to using makeup sponges, they're quite different. They have different amounts of give, I guess, and they work differently. So, you know, I do think it's a nice budget option, but I prefer the beauty blender. And then I have some lip products here that are time to say goodbye. Oh, I have one other makeup thing too, but I'll show you the lip products first. W3LL People Nudist Color Balm. This is honestly, this is in the shade 7. I liked this for a number of years. It's probably 2 or 3 years old, and I just feel like the formula is not nearly as fresh anymore, so it's kind of just time for it to move on, to be retired to the garbage. They are nice products if you're looking for a tinted lip balm. I do like these. And then I am passing on, or I'm going to try to pass on to somebody, 3 Red Apple Lipstick lipsticks. So these are in the shades Oh My Guava, which is a nude. I just don't really like the formula of this, and the color was not terribly resonant on me for a nude. I need a nude to have like a fair amount of brown or mauve in it. Think like Bite Pecan or Bite Pepper. Like those are the sorts of nudes that I look best in. This one was a little too, I guess, milky. And the formula was too creamy. Ravishing, which is sort of like a fall berry, I guess. The reason this is in here is I just have like lots of other shades. I guess it's more like a burgundy. I just have other shades that I would like to actually use, like, this actually looks a lot like MAC Dubonnet, which I don't have. But like, I don't know, it's quite close to something like NARS Cruella. I guess Cruella is a little bit brighter than that, but like it's somewhere in the same color family as like NARS Cruella, Bite Aubergine. I mean, they're different to like a lipstick addict like me and you, but yeah, I just was never really reaching for it. And then After Hours, which is like a purple lipstick that I just like, it was pretty, I just never reached for it. Again, I would be much more likely to reach for something like Bite Aubergine over this. So they're basically like brand new lipsticks that I'd be happy to pass on to somebody. I don't really fully know who yet. And then one other makeup thing that I'm passing on is this Trish McEvoy sort of powder blush bronzer duo. This was just part of a very nice gift that a subscriber who works for Trish McEvoy corporate sent me. Some of the products that she sent me from Trish I ended up totally falling in love with, like the gel eyeliner pencil, the Blackberry Vanilla perfume, I really like. It is nice, I think, to have a pressed translucent powder like this, but I was never really reaching for it. The RMS Unpowder, even though it's not pressed, I do really like, and these just didn't work on me. They sort of oxidized on me. So I might actually give this to my sister as well, because I think she might like it. So that is actually it. So I hope you enjoyed hearing those things. This is sort of like a declutter disappointing products type of thing, but I mean, I guess expect to see them semi-regularly because I'm constantly assessing and taking stock. Although, I mean, more and more, I'm just at a point where I'm not accepting very many PR samples. I'm really focused on using things up and not buying as much as I had been. So I think I am starting to near a point though where it's going to be time to replenish things because I have been so focused on using things up. So I'm hoping that in the fall there might be like a resurgence of like me testing some new things and bringing some like fresh beauty perspective back into L'amour et la musique, which, you know, I never want to lose sight of no matter what direction this channel goes. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would love to hear from you. And make sure to click on over to watch the tour of my refreshed skincare cabinet. I'll see you guys in my next one soon. Bye.